Gone.
Gone.
Okay, cool. So last time we left the Peacock. Carl got into the car with Blood and Carissa, and over the walkie-talkie conversation, you were delayed a touch before Blood basically forced the situation, and you folks headed in. You have done a search of the room. There is a midnight bellhop in there making drinks, but other than that, you haven't found anything. Blood is ready to, just begin enjoying the room. We are paused basically there. You have different like 4 to 5 different size shaped bodyguards out of the room, not coming in with you. I think a couple came in to be inside bodyguards, but some stayed outside the door. The other 3 have just gotten out of their Uber Black in front of the racetrack. You are saddling up the steps. I think Cookie is the one who noticed a chrome bot in the crowd, dipping in and out behind you guys, and that basically is where we have frozen. And where we will pick back up, I think, right at that moment where Cookie has seen this chrome bot's face dip behind another head in the crowd.
Slippy is going to say, "Hey, you guys head straight for Mr. Blood's box. I'm gonna hunt and track this robot." Then I'm gonna roll 2 dice, and I get 11. So on a 10 up, I get to follow the creature's trail until there's significant change in its direction or mode of travel, and I also get I want to determine what caused the trail to end.
Oh, if it ends. This is
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
interesting because it's starting out behind you, following you guys. Cookie BBW, are you down with this plan? Do you continue forward, or do you have different machinations here?
Cookie is gonna say, I could really use a midnight butler right now, and then hope that one shows up.
Okay.
But otherwise, yeah, I do want to continue forward into the thing. Yes.
Okay.
BBW shall follow.
Make sure you mute.
Stealthily or just you're gonna do it.
I'm just gonna do it. But no, it's
Slippy's gonna turn around
loud.
and say, "Hey, do you want to track this thing? Or am I gonna track this thing?"
We're gonna track this thing. This is one of my specialties as well.
Cookie doesn't have a gun. Go with Cookie. Or don't. I'm not gonna force you, but Cookie doesn't have a gun, so it'd be good to have at least 2 guns.
I'm sure.
And I think you have minigun things. Ranged implements.
I have toast.
Toast is a ranged implement.
Ask anyone who's played Destiny. Toasters will fuck you up.
That's a good point.
It's what he says, anyway, and he turns around and goes and tracks the thing, the robot.
So you follow along Slippy, BBW? Or do you go with...
I've been convinced to give Cookie my toast.
Okay, power. Okay. So BBW and Cookie continue up the steps. Slippy dips into the crowd. At one moment, Slippy is next to you, and the next he has slipped between 2 people passing by, and you've lost sight of him. Cookie, you flash an eye back and catch just the, I don't know, the shimmer of that silver chrome bot dipping in and out of the crowd again. You know it's still back there. I don't think this is much of like a long hunt and track process. I think with your thing, Slippy, you're able to dip around behind it and get an eye on it, and it is just I don't know, like a little sneakster. It doesn't have any of that extra armor on it. It looks like one of the weaker ones, but it is just following you up. following, I guess, the other two up through the crowd.
I'm gonna maintain a healthy distance, but I'm going to. I guess I'm gonna radio to Carl because Carl is probably the closest to contact with the in-house security. So I'm gonna say, hey, Carl, this is the S-Band. We need to get some cameras on sector, and I look and see which sector it is. Sector blue upside down horse. We're gonna need some cameras because I'm tracking a silver bot right now, and I need to know if there's more.
When you
Copy that.
Over.
Blue upside down horse.
Over.
when you say blue upside down horse, the robot jerks into a standing still position and then crumples into a heap on the ground.
Uh-oh. Slippy calls again and says, hey, maybe you could kill the robots by saying blue upside down horse? Over?
I'm gonna switch out my thing so I can not listen to that.
Noted. Over.
And then I
Maybe there's
guess
enough
Is there a
That's
PA
fine.
system?
Definitely, there's
That
gonna
is
be
Carl's first.
there's gonna be a an announcer announcing the race.
He's trusting Slippy with everything he's got for this mission, so he's gonna go say blue upside down horse to as much of this crowd as possible over a PA
Oh
system.
no, that a way trust has gone. Yeah, Slippy.
Easily
I mean,
upgraded.
you know, you wait back for a brief moment and peek out the crowd, but you don't see any more of these robotic faces or these chrome bots in the crowd. And you catch back up to your group pretty easily. And making your way through this crowd, you folks make your way towards the blood box. And it isn't long, Kaarl, keeping a watchful eye out over the room. It isn't long before the three of you, Cookie, BBW, Slippy, are coming up to the door. There is a group of 4 bodyguards actually on the outside of the door who, as you approach, buff out all of their arms and bodies, and they're like, we're sorry, we're not going to be able to let you folks allowed on in here today.
Flippy shows his Mr. Blood card credentials thing, and he says, I don't think so. And he pushes it up against the guy's chest.
The guy doesn't move in like at all. Like you feel like it's a wall. And he touches his ear. And Carl, you hear over a I don't know. There's probably another bodyguard in there over a radio of his. We got a Slippy S. Tomlinson out here to be let in, and he walks over to.
That's Mr. Slippy S. Tomlinson to you.
He walks over to Blood and he says,
It absolutely is. Slippy is very much trusted executive here. He's to be praised.
He looks down at Slippy and steps to the side and
Actually, is if you'd like to perform proper etiquette, that would be President Slippy to you.
oh, okay.
I wouldn't piss him off.
Just to you, though.
Just to me, heard. All right, President Slippy, you're welcome on in the room. And he steps to the side and pushes the door open. And
Thank
Slippy, BBW, and Cookie enter the blood box. In here, there are 3 different bodyguards: Mr. Blood, Carissa, a Midnight Bellhop, who, when Cookie enters, looks at Cookie, and you get the idea that it is ready to help you.
Hey, anybody remember the plan from last week to steal Carissa's purse? I remember I had a great plan, but then I don't have it anymore. There was definitely a code word.
Was there a code word?
There was a code word. I don't remember it.
I'm pretty sure there was a code word. the code word was something like "get the purse" or
Yeah,
like,
it was
I
something
think
like
there was some
take-
sort of
take the
signal
purse.
for BBW to snatch it while Slippy
oh
distracted
yes.
Carissa. I think that was the
I need
idea.
to go have a conversation with Carissa.
Oh, yeah.
And I also want to go and talk to the Midnight Bellhop at some point.
I think it makes. Do you express this to Slippy in any way as we are heading in?
To go talk to the bellhop?
If not, I'm just gonna meet. Okay, then I'm gonna go and immediately go up to Carissa and say, "Hey, Carissa, there's a security concern that we need to. I need to have a word with you really quick. It's very important that we all know. Mr. Blood is gonna get told it by
Carissa
Carl."
is standing at the big open window. She has a drink in her hand. She's clutching her purse in front of her, and she says, there's been a good handful of security concerns, but I think that we seem more safe in this box than we may have been so far. We've got, you folks in here, the security guards right outside.
It regards the
Ma'am,
box.
one of the horses had a gun.
It regards the box
The-
that we're in at this very moment.
What is it?
I need you to remain calm
Uh-huh.
and empty your pockets. And Slippy does the same. He's gonna start emptying his pockets and putting things.
Why
on
would
the
I
ground.
empty the pockets, Tombleson?
Do you have a listening device? We don't know what devices are listening to us yet. We're trying to figure that out. We know that there's listening devices in the box.
And she
Slippy's looking
empties her
around.
pockets and she reveals some gum and some coins, I guess, some different credit hunks.
Okay. And what about your purse?
What about my purse?
It would be better had we not
Did you get it checked whenever you came in? Did anybody scan it?
Yes, of
I can scan it right now if you need me to.
course it got scanned on the way in. We all got scanned. There's metal detectors all around the doors on the way in. Well, metal detectors. What is that?
That's the problem. It's not metal.
What are you saying to me, Tombleson? Give me I don't know, some either parlay, defy danger, charisma.
maybe.
Parlay also works.
I'll do it. Sure. We'll do a parlay because that's a fun roll. That is a 10 with the +1. I don't
They
remember
do
if
what
that
you
is a
want
threshold or not. Is it 9
with
or?
they just do what you want. She let's see.
Nice.
She pulls,
And I say-
she opens up her purse and shows you inside her purse. She begins pulling some things out. There's lots of
Yeah, I say, BBW, do you have the scanner? The machinery scanner? The non-metal machinery scanner?
I got metal scanned on the way in.
Hey,
Not the wood one either.
Just could you scan?
it's time for round 2. And we've attracted
Could you
Your
scan the
tractor
Madam
beam.
Carissa's
no.
purse, please?
Yeah. my tractor beam.
On her purse?
It's
BBW
part
thinks
of
this is
it.
a signal.
It's part of it.
All right.
Yeah, she's definitely
That's
I
right.
guess
distracted.
use machine.
That's a 9.
Okay.
Machines. Run so one of the following happens.
What are the following?
Oh, afterwards, the machines drain the power. The operation scales my machines. Take -1 ongoing after machines, and then another is I draw unlocable attention.
Well, you're already that seems integral to this situation and you doing it. But I will.
I would
So
agree with
you
that.
send out a tractor beam. It hits her purse, and you immediately feel a kickback in your machines. It pulls her purse out of her hands, and I'll say not to you, but to the floor in between you folks. And you feel just sort of drained and zapped, and it's that second one, a -1 to use machines ongoing until you rest. You can feel it. Like the moment you hit her purse, there was a kickback that, I don't know, negatively charged your system. And Carissa looks panicked the moment that happens, and she actually jumps and dives for her purse. Does anyone?
Slippy is not surprised by this, so he's gonna also jump and dive for the purse.
Okay. Defy danger, dexterity.
Goodness, it's heavy. What's going on?
I got a 9 if anybody wants to help me.
Can anyone help in this? And how can some?
I am there this time.
Yeah, you're
right?
in the
Am I
room.
there this time?
Absolutely, absolutely. How can you lend a hand here, Carl?
Shoot the purse. Shoot the purse 10 times.
It's one object. That was canonized in the Christmas episode, in the Candle Nights episode.
I'm gonna
As many things are.
I'm gonna throw the pen-shaped banner that says "businessmen" over Carissa to get in her way.
Yeah, and you're gonna say whoops.
Give me a help roll.
Bigger thing, there's a ghost.
Give me a help roll, Carl, for tossing this banner over Carissa before she, almost like a net, like a business net.
Business net.
And what is this
Help
plus?
roll would be plus bond with
It's plus
Slippy.
bond, right? I have one, so that is an 8.
So you open yourself up to danger, but you do give Slippy the +1. So Slippy, you get a 10. You dive split second before Carissa, right as that is ripped from her hands, and roll. You're about to collide with her as the business net descends upon Carissa, the banner tangling her for the briefest of moments, and you roll over the purse, and now you have the purse in your hand, and Carissa is detangling herself from the banner and standing up, and she's like, "Now, Slippy, just please give me my purse back. This is a little absurd. I was scanned on the way in. I was scanned on Blood's ship. I just..."
Slippy dramatically turns to BBW, and Slippy says, "What did you detect with the detector, Dr. BBW?"
Doctor. Something that he doesn't know what to say, but
And Slippy turns
Something
back
that-
to Chris and says, "Well, what do you think about that?"
I don't know.
There's
I
something
don't know
about
what to
that.
think about that.
Slippy says, "Well, obviously, this something in here has very negatively affected my companion. We need to figure out what that is."
He attacked me. I have my own defenses because Mr. Blood gets into lots of situations similar to this, and he says, "Well, I do, and I'd appreciate if you folks would stop assaulting my companion here."
Slippy says, "You're right. I apologize. Just, it's really a formality. I'm sorry that this has all gotten out of hand." And Slippy opens the purse and looks straight in it. Is there like a hand or like a demon? Like, what do we
It's a
got
full
here?
world of demons.
Oh no! Slippy gets sucked in, and there's no more Slippy.
There's a vial that says "Oops, all poison" on it. No, it's makeup. You see a compact in there. There's a tube of lipstick, little mascara palette. It is generally like as you just like face down into this is a purse of makeup, brushes. There's a communicator in there. I mean, not any
Okay,
different than what you
here
would
we
like. Nothing is
go.
out of place.
Here's the thing about this purse. I have a bad feeling about this, which I'm going to survey a dangerous area, and the
purse.
dangerous area is this purse, the interior of this purse. So I got an 8.
One question.
What else is hidden here, please?
You peek down and you feel a twinge of disappointment as you see all these makeup items, and you're about to, you like go to close the purse and like shrug your shoulders, and as you begin to close the,
I go, wait a minute, that's not your shade.
as you begin to, sorry, my internet did a little flicker. As you begin to close the purse, there is a little light that blinks out from the compact and catches your eye.
I'm gonna grab it and bring it out of the purse and see how Carissa reacts.
When you Hmm. Give me a oh no, not discern realities. That feels silly. You pull out the compact. She's just deadlocked on you. She is like looking at you and she's like, "Yes, my makeup. Is there something I can help you with, Slippy?"
Yes. But first,
And what's that gonna be, Slippy? What can I help you with before you do anything else?
Slippy hands the compact to BBW, and if he has to, he'll do it like monkey in the middle over Carissa. Like he's
I think
just going
you're
for it.
closer
Slippy's
to
committed now.
BBW than at this point than Chris is. You're able to just hand it over.
Slippy says, "Come on, BBW, you're making me look like an idiot."
Go grab it. What is this thing?
What is this thing?
It's electronic, but it shouldn't be. I think.
It shouldn't.
I
be.
have a bad feeling about it. And you know the robots. And Slippy continues to look around the room, and Slippy says, "The robots are from the ship. Do you know what else came from this ship?" And again, I'm not saying anything. You know, everyone here, everyone in this room, is innocent until proven guilty. But this purse also came from the ship. And Slippy says, "So BBW, what does that mean?"
This means this thing interfered with my tractor beam.
It could. It
Did
could.
it?
I hope something interfered with it. It has to be something that just came out. I don't think I have anything to. I'm gonna roll my electromagnetic detection to see if this is what caused.
Yeah,
this shit
electromagnetic
happen.
detection. To scope out the robotics of the area. Give me that roll here.
To bail out your boy Slippy.
That's-
Please bail him out. Oh God, oh God.
I hope so. This on a 7, I can detect the presence of machines in general direction, but not pinpoint their numbers or location. I mean, I'm holding it.
There's one in that general direction. Wherever
There's
you're
one over
holding
there.
it. In that direction, there's a
There is
machine for
machining
sure.
over here.
Wherever you move it to, it
There's one
remains that.
here, and there's something there too, and over here. There's so many electric things. Oh
Slippy
my
says,
goodness.
well, perhaps I have made an error.
It's everywhere. I can look at this thing.
I put my trust in
BBW, and now I have to revoke his doctorate.
No.
Regrettably. So
Link with it or
I,
whatever.
I guess I apologize. Here's your purse back.
Anyone can. But yes, he did an electromagnetic detection. It just didn't go incredibly well. He knows that it's a machine, but the way that it rolled, he knows that he's got to make that decision that it's a machine himself. As the purse hits Carissa's hand, well, hold on. Nothing happens. There is a thing.
Yeah, because that would be
A voice
suspicious.
that comes over the live speaker of the racetrack, and it says, "The race will be beginning in 5 minutes." And you could hear a sort of light roar from the crowd outside. It seems that this whole booth dampens the sound pretty incredibly. The PA speaker is actually in the room, and outside you can see these creatures lining up on the starting line with their jockeys atop them, doing little stretches to prep for the beginning of this race. And Carissa returns to the bar and gets her drink topped off, and Mr. Blood goes over to comfort her, and they share a hushed conversation at the bar.
Slippy is
just going to look out the window dejectedly. He's going to put his arm up. He's going to put his face up against the window, and that's where he's going to stand for a little while.
Slippy, across, you're peeking out, and across the field, directly across the track from you in the other box, the other private box, there is a wide figure standing in the window, arms behind their back, and they don't seem to be looking down at the racetrack. They seem to be looking directly over into your box.
Darn it.
They are very tall, very wide, probably like 7 feet tall, and like just doubly as wide as you would expect. Your general bodybuilder person to be.
So he's gonna shout, "Hey, Carl, you have a scope, right? Can you check this guy out across the way? He's mean mugging me, and I'm very vulnerable right now."
And while they're checking that out, Cookie, now is, I think, a good time to speak to the Midnight Bellhop, if that is something that Cookie is interested in.
Yeah, for sure. Cookie wants to check in with the Midnight Bellhop, both to make sure things are good, sort of between the bellhops and herself, and also to report some of the situation and see if there is aid to be gained here. So she's gonna go over to the bellhop and say, is it possible to request reinforcements?
You get a vision of, outside the door. There are 4 bodyguards positioned outside the door, blocking the door, and there are 3 in this room with you. There's an inquisition, like what you would need more reinforcements for. Having spoken to the Midnight Bellhops back at the Peacock after your interaction with that Mother Cradle, you got a sense of like an honorific, if we, use the just like the sense of an honorific tacked onto your name. Here, you do not get that in any form or fashion. This is back to the very cold, not cold, but just sort of detached. How can I help you? Air.
We suspect that another attack is imminent. I respect the wherewithal of the bodyguards that we have, but if the property itself would be able to supply further reinforcement, that would be appreciated. We know that the robots can fly, and we also know that there is at least one in the vicinity of the building.
No, that one crumpled. You hear Slippy say from across the room.
That's okay. Don't listen to him.
Don't listen to me. No one should listen to me.
He nods.
Please report to me as a representative of his security force if your staff detects anything wrong. Thank you very much.
You get a sense that all of the available like personal bodyguards are here, but there is definitely definitely a strong line of communication between this bellhop and the other bellhops of the racetrack to ensure safe, fast connection if information does need to be spread. Carl, have you saddled up over to Slippy to scope out the situation over here with your actual scope?
Yes. What am I scoping out exactly?
Yeah, so
again?
across the way there is another private box similar to yours. It's high up on the arena, the top tier on the arena, with this like magnifying glass style window looking down.
I'm sure they feel comfortable. I've got my sniper
Exactly,
pointed at
exactly.
them.
There is directly across the field, the opposing box on the other side. It's difficult to see in these boxes from the outside. You're just getting the sense of a shape as you approach and see what Slippy is looking at. But there is a large, imposing figure in this box, and their attention doesn't seem to be down on the field and the preparations there. It seems to be directly on your box, and you can see that even as you come over. There's no downward look. It's all like straight across at your box.
Do they look like they're reacting to the fact that I'm pointing a gun at them?
When you pull up your scope to get a better view of this situation, you're able to see into the window a little bit better. You're magnified into the reverse side of like a magnifying glass, and it is a little weird to see this, but what you see is just a massive, just mountain of a human. She is bald, and she's like I said, about 7 feet tall, wide figure. She just stands with her arms behind her back, and as you pull up the gun and you're looking through the barrel, she even smirks. But she's
Uh-oh.
definitely looking at you, at your box.
Take the shot.
Hey, yeah. She's watching us, and she's not scared that I'm pointing a gun at her. So
Hey, Mr. Blood, do you know any 7-foot tall women, thick as a brick?
Mr. Blood
Not in the usual
strolls
way.
over and he's like, now,
not scared of
what,
bullets.
what are we talking about over here?
Smirks when guns are pointed. Slippy points at the scope and says, "Take a look. You recognize this person?"
Yeah. Like I hold the gun for him with two tentacles and just right here.
Oh,
sir.
no, yeah, the box across the street, that's one of my business competitors, Carla Dean. She's another heavy bettor
Sounds
like
good.
myself.
Okay.
Are the
Seems more interested in you than the race.
Well,
Yep.
yeah, I mean,
100%
I'd say
more.
that we've got a pretty hefty bet on this race here.
Yeah, but they don't care.
Is
They're
she
looking-
your?
They're watching you as if something's about to go down that they'd like to see. More
she
so
your
than the
main
race that
competitor?
they're betting on.
She might be rather interested in what's going on over here. Like I said, we have very particular bets against each other in this race. As far as my main competitor, she's definitely up there, especially here on Opulence. The reason I have to attend and see in person is this much the reason that Carla Dean herself finds herself here on planet as well. We've got to see this race with our eyes. We've got lots of money riding on this race here. And Mr. Blood draws your attention down to the racetrack, and there's a particular jockey with a red striped shirt on, and he says, That's my jockey. He's gonna be winning this race today and netting me some big bucks. And most of that's coming from Carla Dean herself. And he looks up through the window and he winks over at Carla Dean. And I guess she winks back. I don't know. They wink at each other.
He's scary. You guys are scary. Are all rich people like this?
Like what?
Never
Okay.
mind. Sorry for earlier. It's I sort of didn't have a handle of things. After taking a bullet for you, I was just a little bit nervous.
To be frank with you, if I hadn't known that them robots there were coming from my own ship at this point, like we found out outside, I might have even put the finger on old Carla Dean over there. She's a sly bitty.
But not that sly.
Not that sly for what?
Not that sly for what?
Biddy.
Not sly enough to slip them to flip one of your inner circle and get them slipped aboard your ship. Not that sly.
I mean, no one's turning Mr. Blood's in a circle over. These are my people. I take care of them. This is Mr. Blood's in a circle, not Carla Dean's in a circle.
Mr. Blood, are your guests always from your inner circle?
No. Like I've
But
lots
they
of
always,
guests.
but they go up, but they go on your
They
ship.
can, yes.
Interesting. No further questions, Your Honor.
All right. I like the honorific there at the end. That does feel good. A few minutes go by. There is a general lull in the overall boom of sound coming in from the stadium from outside, and the announcer announces the race. The
Did we get the note to the announcer that he needs to announce blue upside down horse?
the
You know, because that maybe kills the robots.
okay. The announcer says, ladies.
Oh, and I've got a little note here.
With the owner of the blue upside down horse.
That's why, Tom.
Ladies, gentlemen, and androids all across the galaxy, prepare for the Centennial racetrack horse race. Courtesy of
Is that it?
Pleasure Tower Industries.
In the middle, is that an accent? No,
These things are
sorry.
so
Stop
creative.
that. What's this? Well, I'm just beginning. I'm just beginning at. Okay. Blue upside down horse. Is that anything for you? No. Okay. Well,
I'm looking with my scope everywhere.
nothing happens.
The
APW
whole
starts
crowd
screaming.
collapses.
Nothing happens when the announcer says that out loud.
APW's gonna play
Okay.
dead.
I'm.
Am I dead yet?
Okay. Well.
Flippy kills BBW.
Stop. Okay, with that behind us, we've got racing in number 1. We've got Blood's Dream, the
Horse.
best horse in Mr. Blood's stables, and the crowd goes wild. That seems to be a pretty good crowd favorite, even though it's the first horse. The neck racing next to the Blood's Dream, we've got Carla Deem's race team, and the crowd goes somewhat wild, but they don't seem to like Carla Dean's race team. And there's fucking 2 other horses. At this point, there's 2 other horses announced, and the crowd loves them. They go wild. Carla Deem's race team seems to be the least favorite of the crowd. But that doesn't change Carla Dean's smirk across the racetrack as the gun is shot and the race begins. The energy kicks up into a roar coming from outside in the stadium as these creatures begin barreling down the tracks and doing their best to sort of climb over the first set of hurdles presented to them. Did you have something?
It's time to discern some realities. This is the perfect time for assassination attempts when everyone's watching the horse race.
I definitely thought you
So-
meant you were gonna try and kill Carissa.
Time to kill Carissa.
No. Yeah, let's see what we see. I'm
That is not
scanning the
what-
sky for robots. Is our box anywhere near like crowds or anything? Otherwise, I'm probably just scanning the sky.
Your box is positioned directly like the top row of crowds around this arena. Your box is like above them. The window angled slightly down to give a better view down. Yes. There are, there's a decent crowd on the outside of this, but your average person simply would not be able to get up from the crowd to the window on the outside of this booth even. But yes, you can discern realities on that or on something else if you had something else.
I do believe I'm just still sort of discerning realities in terms of looking for assassins, looking for robots, looking for danger.
Yeah, and Slippy will set to defend.
And I rolled a 13. So I think I should start with what here is useful or valuable to me.
Muted.
Moved
You're
on.
muted.
Thank you. I see what you're going for now, Lily. I appreciate it. The race is kicked off. The energy, the focus is coming in from the crowd down to this event as these creatures are barreling over their obstacles. You're peering around through the crowd beneath the private box that you're in, and I mean the focus is definitely down there on the racetrack. You scan up at a brief moment and you see Carla Dean standing there still. Now she is on a call. She's still standing at the window, hand up to her head. And I think in your scan, right after you notice that, you notice that for a brief moment, you scan over. No one trusts Carissa at this moment. For a brief moment, you scan over to Carissa, and Carissa's attention is directly over, looking at Paula Dean, Carla Dean.
Is she on her
Oh,
mirror?
dude.
And no, she's not on anything. She's just looking directly at Carla Dean. And for a slight second, you think you see a nod, Cookie. But what does that mean? You have two other questions?
Please,
I
what's
do
about to happen,
indeed.
please.
Yeah, I've got what is about to happen is definitely one of them. The other is who's really in control here.
Which one first?
What is about to happen should probably be last, just so that we move the action.
Right.
That's a good action forward mover.
Yeah.
Maybe we should slot my defense roll in before
No,
we
I
do
saw
that
you roll
one,
for that.
too.
Yeah, I was curious about your number before things kicked off.
Defense is plus what again? Is it plus con? What is defend? Defend is plus
Okay.
con. So I have a total of a 9.
And what does that do on defend? For not a 10?
On defend, as long as you stand in defense, when you or the
Oh,
thing
3 holds.
you are defending is attacked. Oh yeah, I get 1 hold as opposed to 3 holds.
Oh, because you got, okay, yes, you got middle. So 1
Yes.
hold.
Yes.
If something happens to, I'm imagining that defense is in of blood. Cool.
Correct.
So something happens to blood, you get to spend one of those defends. Cookie, you're peeking around.
Mhm,
I'm gonna answer, I think, these in conjunction to one another. That slight nod draws your attention, and you look at her, and then there is a firm, like, it's like a a great example of it is we were literally just watching Rick and Morty to give the idea of this vibe, and it's Chrombopulous Michael standing on top of the thing, and he says, "All right, here I go killing again." He just sort of shrugs and like steps off the building. You get this vibe from her. She nods one time firmly and then just shrugs and goes to turn around, and in that moment you know that she is in communication in some form or fashion with Carla Dean, and that Carla Dean is giving her an order of some kind, and she turns around and pulls back the sleeve on her big poofy dress and presses a button on her bracer. And it lights up and starts blinking, and she reaches into her purse. This is all kind of quick. What do you folks do as this happens?
I have to stay defending, so I'm not doing anything yet.
Can we shoot the bracer?
Shoot,
I'm gonna cut her
shoot,
hand off.
shoot Slippy's ex-girlfriends.
Okay, so
Does that
Yeah.
seem rational to
you
everybody? The hand with
slice
the
her hand
bracer.
clean off real quick. If that's what Carl wants to
I
do.
shoot her wrist 10 times.
My only solution is turn her into a bug. So
That's your
That
solution for
is-
everything.
it's true.
I got an 8.
On hack and slash?
Yep. That hits, so I roll damage, right?
Goodness me.
Yes.
Or at least it succeeds.
You don't even know why you're doing this.
Sure
Nothing has been
does.
said in characters.
9
damage.
damage.
I
Oh my God.
cut her hand off.
She whips around,
It's good.
presses this
Wait.
button.
Slippy starts to scream
Above the bracer
immediately.
too. I want that bracelet away from
What's
her.
up, BBW?
Like as soon as it like comes off, can I use my tractor beam to like take the arm as well?
Slippy is
Slippy
it
is
away from her.
wailing. Slippy is like,
Okay.
he's like this portrait of the scream.
Give me
right
that
now.
tractor beam. I want to get all the rolls in so I can canonically pull this together as a story. BBW, give me that tractor beam roll. Use machines, you have minus
At a
one.
minus
Yep.
1.
So that's a 6. Darn it. That didn't really
Uh-oh.
work out then.
What is a 6 is just a failure. Okay.
Yes,
Mark
That's
Very
probably
That
for the
fits in with the
best.
probably.
Story anyway. Okay.
It's probably too heavy.
So, I mean, all this happens right at once. Cookie sees this. I think with your thing, Cookie, you're able to like show just enough alarm that your whole team's focus whips into Carissa as she's spinning around. Carl, what are you swinging down to chop her arm off with? What weapon do you have for this?
It's my staff. It's a
Oh,
spear.
the end of
God.
it's a spear. I
Oh,
was
that's
like, you're breaking her hand off her
It's a
body?
spear with
Phew, that would
no,
have
it's
been
it's a
rough.
spear with a
God.
taser butt, and so the spear end I'm imagining is about like half a
Sure.
foot
Enough to slice.
max. Just to slam it off. Just as soon as I see her hit that button, I'm like, nope, off.
So yes, Carl, she whips around, she presses this button and starts reaching into her hand, and all of a sudden there's a light clang as the
Hand.
edge of Carl's
I revolver ocelot.
the edge of Carl's spear connects with the very edge of this bracer and severs her entire arm off, basically at the elbow. It was a big bracer covering up her whole forearm. And BBW's tractor beam fires out, and it does hit the thing, but rather than pull it back, it seems to jam up right as it hits it, and the arm goes flying backwards and into the corner behind her on the other side of you guys. It's just flopping, and she panics. I think right away when her arm severs, Carl, I need you to give me a defy danger dexterity. There is a wave of force that comes out from her as you have severed her arm.
10.
Yeah, you're ready. You're ready for something. You're ready for combat, and you immediately push yourself backwards
Fucking
as
A.
this wave of force comes
I'll
out.
start a fight that I'm
Um,
not ready to take.
I'll say that it collides with you, but you're moving backwards fast enough to just like let it push you even further back, and you bump up against the wall with a little bit of force, but nothing besides the light breath being knocked out of you. And you folks are now here. Carissa,
Yes, out of my
her purse has
lungs.
dropped
even
to the
have
floor. She has a tube of lipstick in the one hand that she has remaining, and her thumb is hovering over just the cap of the lipstick, and she says, all right, let's all take a breath here. I don't want to have to do anything hasty. I'd prefer to get a good payout from this mission myself and not have to sort of throw my life away on this one. And Mr. Blood says, what's going on in here? What is happening in this booth? And Carissa says, dear, I'm really sorry, but I'm gonna need you to shut the fuck up and sit down. And Blood's almost immediately he goes, okay, and sits down. She's like, that's better. Now, things have gotten a little out of hand here.
I want to cut her
If
other
you-
arm off. And I rolled a 12.
Yeah, I want to also shoot the lipstick.
If she's holding the lipstick, I'm just like, hey,
Yeah,
I
so
know,
other
I
arm.
know exactly what I can do to solve this problem.
You go for the wrist. I'm also going for the wrist, but with
So
a
that is
gun.
a 14 dexterity roll to hack and slash.
Yeah, let's. Do you want to make it 15?
Are you
Make
are
it
you
15.
aiding? You're aiding with
That's
that?
Yep.
That's a 9 for my next tractor beam.
No, I forgot. I can't.
You're
I'm defending.
defending.
It's. I'm just gonna continue to scream.
Ah!
Only
Well,
2
you said a
damage
9
this
on your next
time.
tractor beam, BBW?
Oh, sorry.
Is that with
Yeah, I'll
Yeah,
take the
but-
lipstick away from
is that with -1?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's my -1.
So I guess Carl is up in there immediately. Spear cutting through her other arm, and before anything, that's so fast. That was such a good
I was still mid twirl.
boy.
Let's not do anything hasty. Does something most
Does
hasty.
something
Takes off
hasty.
her other arm, but faster than she could expect.
Cookie like slowly takes an egg out of her pouch or wherever she keeps them.
That's all Chris is good for. now.
So as her
So fun.
her second arm is removed from her body, BBW, your tractor beam connects with the lipstick and flings it back over to you. You feel your tractor beam short out. Carl, same sort of situation. I'm gonna need you another defy danger dexterity as you sever her second arm.
And
Oh, and also, how much damage did you do? Because you've
Uh,
removed
7.
an arm.
It was 3
Okay.
the second time.
That was a 7 on the defy danger.
Yes.
This time you're not so lucky. In getting in there so fast, you opened yourself up to this wave of force. I think you knew it was coming. I think that it wasn't so much of a surprise to Carl that this second force came out to damage, not through armor, so you're probably fine. As you're pushed again back across the room, Carissa kind of drops to the ground in a heap. She doesn't seem to be moving. But she is bleeding, and there is a puddle of blood extending from her. As
Laying on the side going, Slippy, you remember that time Carissa bled out on the floor?
I think it's safe to say
That we're off again.
off again, as there's sort of a little bit of silence that is overtaking.
I want to ask the bellhop for like medical supplies, and I want to go over to Carissa and see if she's awake.
Yeah,
Slippy has to stay by blood. He's defending. Never mind.
the bellhop pulls up a first aid kit from beneath the bar and slides it over to Cookie. As you are walking over to Carissa, there's a bit of silence in the room, and you hear a light beeping coming from the corner where her arm had flipped to with the bracer, and it is quickening, like getting much faster in beeping. But you get over to Carissa with your first aid kit and your egg.
The 2 buttons are the sweaty.
Okay. Egg or Carissa? Can Am I close enough to try like a defy danger strength to try and like yank her up and dive away from whatever this is?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why'd you need the medical supplies?
Well, the medical supplies were originally to help wake her up if she was
Hmm.
if she was unconscious. I wanted to talk to her. But I rolled a 4 for a total of 6.
Eh.
Bright side of this is that I level up now. Level 5.
That's goofy because you hear the beeping and you bend down real quick to grab Carissa and try to pull her away from the beeping, and you sort of stumble and she ends up in a heap atop you and nothing happens. I mean, the beeping just continues to increase in speed.
I think we should leave. And Slippy looks back down at the drop outside of the window. How far of a drop is that?
There's a crowd beneath you, but it's about a 20-foot drop to the crowd.
Okay, well there goes my
10 foot,
idea
10
of
foot
toss
drop
the
to the crowd.
explosive
That's
device off the
real
ledge.
far, 20 feet.
Don't worry, guys. We won't get hurt.
Slippy-
Throw into a crowd of civilians.
Slippy is also gonna do. I don't know if this is Defy Danger or if this is Volley, but it's probably a combination of these things. Slippy is gonna grab Mr. Blood because he's a smaller man, right? Isn't that what we've said?
I guess so. Yeah, he can. If we haven't said it before,
I,
he
yeah,
is now.
Yeah, I imagined him Doug as Doug Dimmadome, so he's not like a huge person.
He's a tiny boy.
So Slippy is going to first do a volley to the window that we're to the volley of the window.
You're trying to
of
shoot out the
booth,
window.
That's what it is. The blood booth. I got a 10.
Pew, pew, pew. Your bullet hits the window, and there is a electronic fizzle that it spreads out across the window, but then there is no damage to the window.
Well, and then I pick up Mr. Blood and start running for the door.
As you pick up Mr. Blood, the four of you hear outside the room a shout, and then some heavy thunks. And right as you hear this, the beeping becomes a singular tone from the bracer, just almost like a lifeline going dead from the bracer. None of the rest of it has sounded lifeline like, but just for the vibe of it goes like a steady beep, and you hear several thunks outside the door. What do you do?
I'm still got Mr. Blood under my arm and I'm
To
running
the door?
Yeah, I'm at the very least gonna peek out, and then maybe I can hold him out, and we can both peek out at the same time.
I mean, you open the door, and outside, you peek outside of the door, and there are 4 bodies on the ground outside of the door, and an empty hallway.
Right. Slippy turns to Mr. Blood, looks up, and Slippy looks down. He says, "So do we want to leave, or do you want to stay in the room with the beeping, Mr. Blood?"
This is a hard one. I can't. We gotta be near enough by, that way I can see the end of the race. But whatever gets me
God
to the
damn
end
it,
of the
Mr. Blood.
Hey, there's a lot of money riding on this race. This is the whole point of all of this was that I
You know
see the
what?
race.
Slippy comes back in the room, and Slippy says, "BBW, can you disable the energy shields on the window?"
Oh,
As a
while
great
that's
question.
happening, Carl does also want to try to cut the bangle in half. That's beeping.
You just keep chopping away.
Like, you know what? This too.
Yeah, give me a hack and slash on the bangle.
9.
9.
And assuming that hits 8,
A
10.
worse outcome. You swing your spear down, you hit the bangle and the beep beeps a couple times weirdly and sporadically and then dies off. The moment that you connect and like cause damage to this bracer, you feel a shock in your hand, and you drop your staff for a moment and you pick it back up. Swing it around a little bit, doesn't seem any different, and you go to test out the taser and it seems weirdly dysfunctional, like it's sporadic as you press it. It's not a steady stream of electricity. It seems like something in that bracer caused a malfunction in your technology on your staff.
Gotcha.
BBW,
Take time to fix that. at
yeah,
some point.
definitely. Do you have anything to do to check out the shield on this window?
Yeah, I want to find where it's like. Wait, it's probably not there. I'm just gonna like put my hands around the
Oh.
edges of it, and I'm gonna try to use my command of robots on it. Try and make it turn off.
Okay, yeah. I like that. Yeah, this, I mean, as you approach, you touch it, you feel it. It doesn't, there's no like electronic box sitting off to the side, but as you touch it, like there's a very, very thin, clear, like electronic sheet over this whole window, keeping it protected.
Oh. See. I got a 10 with the -1 on my roll. Like, well, I don't know.
Yeah, you don't have a -1 to this specific ability, but I mean that's great.
Oh.
Anyway, yeah, that's just to your like using any of your use machine spells.
Oh, okay.
It just does what you want,
it's
right?
Plus, some command.
I'll be right
That's
back.
what I want.
Yeah,
Oh,
you
yeah.
hear a shut down in power. And actually all of the lights in the room go out as well. And the magnification on the window cuts out and you just see just a window. I mean, you can still see down, but there's no more magnification either.
All
All
right.
right,
the
now
thing
lock
still
the
beeping?
door and we'll pretend we're not here.
As you go to the door, who goes to lock the door?
Slippy can't. He's holding Mr. Blood.
That might be a Carl
I'll do
thing
it.
anyway. We'll wait till Carl comes back.
Okay.
Cookie's gonna check on Carissa.
Gonna pull her off of you.
Yeah, gonna roll her off of me and see if she's conscious or how she's doing.
You alive?
Unconscious and unstable. Like she's bleeding out of both of her arms. Her skin seems kind of pale.
Tracks?
Well, I have a med kit. I'm not totally sure if that will help with this, but we can try and stop the bleeding. Maybe BBW has something we could use to cauterize the wound.
I was gonna say the same thing. I could try.
It's always worth a try. And if the cauterizing doesn't work, it'll be enough to wake her up.
Just toast the
Um,
wrists.
Mhm.
That's what cauterization is, right?
I think one of BBW's used machines is like healing someone, right?
First. Yeah.
So if
first
you
aid.
do use machines, I know that this was like a cookie-centric action, it seemed, but if BBW does use machines, you could aid with the medical kit. That seems like something that could roll down through abilities.
I'm super down with that. I just want to wake her up and ask her a question.
So then BBW use, if you would like, use your machines to heal Carissa.
All right.
We can call this cauterizing the
That was
wound.
That was an 8 for my operate machines. So one of the following happens. Machines drain the power. It scrambles my machines or draw unwelcome attention.
You
Wait.
reach down. What's the heal? What's the heal like? Yeah.
It's a 1d8. Here for 1. health.
Perfect. You just cauterized the wounds enough for Cookie to get in with the med kit and staunch the bleeding between the two of you. She stirs a little bit here at the end as you're wrapping up the ends of her arms.
I wonder if toast is made of people.
She doesn't seem entirely responsive, but she is like stirring a bit, Cookie.
Gonna slap her. Wake up.
You do 1 damage and she dies.
Now's not the time for sleeping. Up we get. Wake up. Gotta talk to you.
Just let me die.
Is that what you want?
Oh, existential. Not entirely, but I'm not feeling too great at the moment, having both of my hands have been removed.
Yeah, so we were gonna get you help, but like,
Why did you cut off my hands in the first place?
because you were holding things that were clearly presenting a danger.
Shit. Damn it. We already went,
Yeah, you
damn
said
it. We already went through
contracts.
that whole encounter.
Don't hold something that's a
They're
threat
still
to
hiding.
me, and you won't lose your fucking hands. What did we learn?
Okay, sorry, is there a question I can answer? This all sort of just sucks. I don't have hands now. What's up?
How do we stop the attack? Tell us, and you can leave with at least your legs.
The bracer you first removed, if you can press the button in the right pattern, the location sequence.
Yeah, what else?
That was sort of the one I had because it was attached to my arm. If like that was the one I had. So
Well, that's a shame. Carl takes the rifle out and points it at her. Because if you can't help us stop this, then I don't really see why we need to keep you in here.
Yeah. But okay. There is a backup plan. As I was getting to, but with this sort of energy, it's not really something I want to take. Because you're right, we're all sort of in trouble right now, and she sort of motions to her arms. But, I mean, without the bracer, you don't really know how to stop it. So even if you finish me off, it's not like this is going to end for you anytime soon. So we just cool it with the hostility a little bit. Maybe we can work something out here.
Look, my one job is to shoot people, all right? Someone else take over the diplomacy.
How about this?
I can shoot you 12 times, but I don't know how to talk to you.
Don't listen to him.
I wouldn't like that.
I have a way for you to continue living. Your life can continue almost uninterrupted.
Slippy turns around.
Almost
Slippy turns away from the situation.
Yeah, Carl is camouflaged away. Nope, I'm gone.
Maybe they'll be still here. Very curious.
Maybe kind of watching. I can't guarantee that it will work exactly the way I want it to, but if you want, I can try something to give you another life.
A 1-up. So to
I
speak.
am alive at the moment. If we can get out of this sort of situation, the hands can be rectified. There's plenty of good paths for that. I don't need whatever weird dark bargain is happening here. I just think that maybe there's ways that we can all get out of this scrape alive. And Cookie, she flicks her eyes over to Slippy and Blood, who have their, I guess, backs turned to the situation.
Yep. He's still under my arm, but he's looking out at the field, enjoying the show.
He's nodding. He's like, yes, go Blood's dream
yes,
or whatever.
Do it. Go.
Just watch the bunnies, Mr.
He
Blood.
seems pleased. He seems pleased that his horse is running a good race. He's like, yes, Blood's dream.
And Slippy is crying silently onto his back. It's a good scene.
So wholesome.
I mean, you're suggesting that we complete your contract for you. I don't see what's in it for us because our job description is it's explicitly not do that. You'll get us fired.
We get a pretty bad rap.
And no one has to know that you helped. We could all knock you folks out, and I could easily split the reward with you.
But then we'd be known as bad bodyguards. We were hired to keep this guy alive.
I know how the military works. One failure of a mission does not constitute a total drop back. And Mr. Blood's like, hold on, what's happening back there? Slippy, turn us around.
Yeah, but I'll feel stupid, and that's the
Slippy
real
says-
reason this is a problem.
Yes, of course, Your Honor. And Slippy turns
What's happening
around.
back here? He says as they turn around.
Absolutely nothing.
Chris is like, they cut off my arms. So not much is happening back here.
He was a traitor,
Uh,
so we're trying to gather information on what the operation is like.
There
right,
is
Carissa?
a thick, heavy bang at the door, causing it to
Right,
shake in
Carissa.
its
right, prisoner. I was
causing
interrogating.
it to shake in its frame. And she says, I mean, we all might want to come to some sort of conclusion because it looks like my backup might be here.
Oh dear.
Well, how many of them are there? And I check my ammo
Slippy
magazine.
has his gun behind his back, pointed at the window.
How many of them are there? Give me a number between 1
21.
and 20.
Oh, no.
My one weakness: 21 and
Good
I have
news.
2 magazines.
I have 22 bullets.
one in the chamber, baby.
That wouldn't help me
That
in any
wouldn't-
way, shape, or form to tell you how many are out there. This seems like we're on pretty even footing right now in terms of a negotiation. Well, almost. She looks at her arms. But
Even footing, that's for sure.
this is good. This is good stuff.
I do appreciate your even-handedness.
Oh
My God!
Stop, she's already dead.
continues to cry.
That was a little short-handed of you.
Slippy cries harder. Ah!
If only she had had the forearm sight. Sorry.
Rip it. Rip it.
Okay. Your idea is not without merit, but I don't see how it benefits us, given that we are not the only parties involved. And Cookie flicks her eyes toward all of the other bodyguards in the room.
That can easily be taken care of, as we're about the whole room can be taken care of. Blame placed off your backs, and Mr. Blood's like, hold on, what are we talking about now? No, you folks are here to protect me. What is this all about? She's obviously
Don't worry.
causing some trouble, so let's put an end to this.
Don't,
I can find a new
don't worry,
companion.
Speedums. I'll protect
And she
you.
says, find a new companion. Excuse me. And he's like, yes?
Well, he's already good. Obviously going to do that, Carissa. Come on, Carissa.
Look, Carissa, you think you're irreplaceable? Look at how well Slippy's doing. He's a fucking catch. and Carl
Rip
holds up
it.
for a high five.
Ribbit.
Slowly lets it
Slippy
down.
can't because one arm has Mr. Blood underneath it, and the other one is pointed at the window behind him. Just crying
As the arms
softly.
There is a second bang at the door, causing splinters. The other security guards have their guns. The other 3 in the room, I think, with you, have their guns pointed at the door, and they're like, we doing this? We opening fire? What's the play here? Bloods, boys.
We're gonna need some
We're
backup.
Shoot.
Shoot anything that is silvery and metallic that comes through, and really anything
Silver
else that looks
robots.
threatening. Anything that looks threatening, just shoot
Another
at
bang
it.
at the door, like that.
Yeah, that fits
shoot
the
that.
bill.
Oh,
Now.
now, okay, all right.
Don't even shoot first. Ask questions later.
They open fire on the door. Several shots discharged from their
Mr. Blood, I think I see a spider in
their
your
weapons.
collar.
I don't. What are you talking about, spider? There are several shots discharged from their weapons, splintering the door into pieces. There's a little bit of, I don't know, smoke and detritus in the air, dust and detritus in the air, and as that settles, a wide, chromatic robot steps through the door, breaking out the door frame a touch from the wideness of it, the width of its shoulders, and it scans the room and locks on to first Mr. Blood, and begins taking a step towards Mr. Blood.
Can I shoot it in the kneecap?
Absolutely. Give me the volley roll.
I'm gonna shoot it in the kneecap. Yo, that is a 6, marking experience.
The bullet reflects off the kneecap and into a bodyguard. Oh! You hear one of the bodyguards say as he drops to the ground. I wanted to get them out of the way anyway, so that's not a problem for the story.
No, I can tell.
I forgot
can
about them
tell
at
you
some
did.
point, and then I was like, oh fuck, there's bodyguards in here. So
Oh no, there's a lot.
that
of
one
ones
got
in
shot
here.
in the knee. It
Tell me
bounced
what
off the
those-
robot's knee and hit the bodyguard in the knee. He says, ow! Oh, my knee!
Ooh.
And the other bodyguards are like, hey!
He doesn't need knees to shoot a gun. Keep shooting.
They begin reloading their weapons. The robot does not stop its stride. Slippy BBW, or I guess Cookie BBW.
I'm waiting until it's like, I don't know, 5 feet away from me, 10 feet away from me. I'm gonna do a dramatic fall backwards with Mr. Blood in my arms after I shoot the window out, but I don't want to do that yet.
Sure, yeah.
I really
That
don't wanna
feels
do
like
that
last
yet.
resort for sure. BBW Cookie for
Mhm.
non-route last resort.
I'm gonna try to tell it this to stop with my comedic robots. That's a 9. I have to I can parlay with the robot by offering it data power proper usage. Oh dear,
It is a robot. Yeah,
there's a robot.
he would know what robots want more than you would probably. He is a robot.
True. We're slowly start taking
Oh,
off my
fuck.
party hat. I know exactly what it wants.
You didn't think about having a hacker on your team, did you?
And did you? I built his class.
This is like the end of Outer Worlds where you can skip like one of the final boss fights if you just have a high enough hack skill.
The This is hard. I don't know that it wants anything of those 3. I think
They're only programmed
when you
for
do
one
this
thing.
it almost sends an error message back to you that there's just no sort of connection here. It doesn't need any of these 3 things. But in that code, you know that it as a bot has a pretty small max
Wait a minute.
capacity charging tank, and that is easily overloaded. So I think the thing, in order to get it to
It's
stop, you have
plus-
to offer it a large amount of power. Less like
It's plus
in trade and
intelligence.
more of like what you will need to do to get it to stop.
I actually rolled a 10 because It's a 2, then my minus
On
1
what?
on my rolls
Or
for operating machines with the wait, a single command to the robot and it must obey. I rolled a 10
oh, okay, that's what you're saying.
total. Yeah. I just add my
Okay,
intelligence
so
and then
you
the minus
you issue that command. What is that
my
command as
bad.
it's marching across the room?
Break your own knees.
What?
That's a good command. Yeah.
It
And it follows the 3 laws of robotics.
stops. It stops and begins kind of surging forward and in place for a moment. I think that is all that happens with that. It is stopped and it is
Oh,
just sort of like, yeah, surging in place for a brief moment. Is there a response from Cookie as well to this?
what's the guy stunned? Can't imagine why it wouldn't want to break its own knees though.
You stop that. Um,
I used the command spell and everything. I don't know why he didn't just kill himself.
Yeah. I was gonna go
That was
like
me speaking of
spout lore
BBW.
looking for robot weaknesses.
Ooh.
I think first I'll say to Carissa, well, you have me convinced. I don't think we're really bodyguards anyways. I thought I was hired to explore new planets. However, the rest of the team says no, so no. If you want to convince them, that's super cool and I'm on board. Otherwise, I've got to figure out how to defeat a big robot now. And I'm gonna spout lore on the robot. Hopefully with its weaknesses. That's an 11.
You remember a book that you read called The Big Book of Robot Weaknesses?
there's you're watching this robot. I think in between, it seems very heavily armored, but there are a few points in the back of its armor in between where its shoulders are connected to its main frame that there is gaps in the armor. And you know that based on, I think, your interactions with BBW and in your robots and the few years you've been alive, that with a good amount of force, you can pry that arm clean off. You just gotta get something in there.
So it's got the same weakness as Carissa. Got it.
I mean, yeah, the
Arms are removable.
I guess the
True.
maker puts their Achilles heel into their art.
Thanks, God.
The yeah, I mean, with that knowledge, the not with that knowledge, but with the you looking that over, the robot surges forward one last time, and then its foot swings forward, and it takes another step, and then continues on its way towards Mr. Blood. It is approaching. I think the front line of this would probably be BBW at this moment. Carl and Cookie, I think you're off to the sides, and Slippy, you're behind BBW with Blood.
Oh God. Oh jeez.
And it's getting closer and closer to BBW.
Is there um is there like a lamp pole or a broom handle or any sort of thing I could use for leverage? If I see something like that, I'd like to run in and try and jam that in there.
Yeah, in all of this, we can say that Chair. Chairs have been broken around. There is a pretty thin, elegant chair leg. I only say thin as it could fit into the gap. But it's like a full, tall, like bar chair leg that is just in a heap. Could definitely get in there.
Well then, I think it's maybe that'd be hack and slash or defy danger to run in there and get him.
Feels like a defy danger strength.
All right, high danger strength. 8.
With that, Cookie runs up and leaps and jams this chair leg into the back of the robot. Cookie, it begins to turn and swing its arm around at the damage it's just taken in the back. If you stand there as it spins, you know that you can, in the moment, use that to increase the leverage and probably pop that arm off. But you will take the full brunt of the other arm swinging just like around in a helicopter style. Or you can leave it in there. It's jammed in there firmly and dodge out, but missing the opportunity to take the arm off for the moment.
I'm gonna try taking the arm off.
Yeah, you do. You've already done the thing, so you stand there and as it spins around, Cookie pulls down hard. Its right arm coming off of its body. It's helicoptering, spinning around on its its upper portion, just spinning around separate from its lower portion. Its arm out to the side is going to collide with Cookie for 4 points of damage. Not through armor. Basically, imagine you always have armor unless I say through armor. That way I don't have to say not through armor. That just, is always not through armor. So yes, 4 damage, and you are pushed backwards. Carl catches you from continuing, but the arm, its right arm comes clean off of its body. It continues its spin around and rewrites itself, and then it turns its entire body towards Cookie and Carl and holds out its palm, which opens up a little door, and you can see a red energy sort of charging up, building up inside of that hand. What do the two of you do?
I want to try shooting it directly in the hand. I want to Independence Day this motherfucker.
Yeah, it worked in Independence Day. Why can't it work here?
They were aliens.
This
is
a
kind of an
robot.
alien. That's a 7.
They were on a planet. We're on a planet.
7.
7. I want to defy danger dexterity.
That tracks. That tracks.
What attaches to you?
Damage is also a 7.
What's your defy danger dexterity, Cookie? A 3, you say. Okay. Okay. With the 7 on your thing, Carl, I'm not going to give you the opportunity to defy danger. BBW and Slippy. BBW, defy danger normal. Slippy, defy danger +1 because you have an out prepared for what's about to occur.
I sure know where I'm gonna go. Yay. Defy danger.
Dexterity.
Dexterity. Okay, mine is a 12.
You're muted, BBW. Oh, he's also chatting.
I'm busy.
Tell my mommy something.
It's okay.
2 seconds. 6 for my dexterity.
6 for your dexterity. Oof.
Both of my defy danger. I mean,
Right,
sorry.
Okay. Carl, this thing spins towards you and Cookie and opens up its hand, and you don't miss a beat to fire a plasma shot right down that hand barrel. There is a small discharge of electricity across the thing's hand and a brief moment of stillness before there is a huge explosion coming from this thing's hand. Not yes, outward, but it's not like it shot an explosion. It is exploding. Carl,
I played fucking Metal Gear Solid. I don't know how to take
I
out
mean,
a tank.
immediately shot at the thing. Carl and BBW, 5 points of damage. Slippy, you with that discharge
Here we go.
happens, you spin around and shoot the window, and Blood's like, hold up, as you jump out the window, the explosion pushing you out. You free fall those 10 feet. You do take
I'm holding Mr. Blood above me so that he lands on my soft amphibian form whenever he lands.
all right.
Crowd, Slippy, Mr. Blood.
Okay, you take 4 points of damage from your fall. Based on crowd beneath you and blood above you smashing into you. You clear out some crowd beneath you. They don't seem to be moving as you have landed atop them. Carl.
Their necks bend in unusual ways.
I'm just looking up at Mr. Blood and I'm saying, "Is he winning,
The
sir?"
three, Mr. Blood seems to be trying to come to after he's like, Blood's fucking what's my horse's name? Blood's dream. Is Blood's dream winning? I don't know. The crowd around you is definitely looking in, Cookie or Slippy. But as you look around, you see that this actually has not stopped anything. The horses are still going. The crowd a little bit further out is
Doesn't
just like
surprise me.
standing there cheering on the races. Like nothing has really changed. You guys up in the room,
Explosions happen here
this
all the
room is
time.
filled with smoke. And you have all been shoved back into walls. As the room is beginning to clear smoke, was your first thought? Not you, Slippy. Sorry, the other three.
No, not me. I can't. Okay, I know what I'm gonna do.
I'll get to Slippy.
I'll get. No, for sure. No, for sure. I have separated myself from the group, and that's what happens.
Did I take my damage for rolling a 3?
Sorry, you took the same as the other two. Might not have mentioned your name. That was, I think, 4 damage from the other two, right? Oh, 5 total.
Okay, neat. So I'm just unconscious.
Nice.
Do I take damage as well?
Carl, you took 5, correct, from that explosion? Yeah, so
Minus the 3 from my defense.
Yeah, and minus defenses if you have them. Carl, Cookie, BBW take total of 5. If you have defenses, great.
I am also unconscious.
Hey, good explosion. As the explosion clears, Carl, you pull yourself out of a little heap of rubble, and you're the only one standing in the room.
I grab each of them
Chris is
with
dead.
one
They're
fucking
both-
tentacle and
both
drag the
unconscious.
living ones out.
Dragging him out of the doorway? Or out of the window?
Out of the primary area of danger.
No, I mean, you guys are in the private box. Slippy has shot the window out and jumped out of the window to save himself with Mr. Blood, so he's out and in the crowd below. Or there's the door where this thing came from, out into the hallway where there is no one for some reason.
I guess. Well, I guess it's an easy choice because I doubt poultice pouches work on mechanical parts. So Do you think they
I mean,
will?
it's so I made it a poultice pouch because I didn't want a healing potion. Like, healing potion to me seems more high fantasy than the flavor we were going
So
for.
presumably it could be Schrodinger's pouch that contains either health supplements or a wrench, whichever the user needs when they
It's
happen to open
100%
it.
Thinking
that,
about my
yeah.
pouch of
It
useful
has,
items.
yeah, poultice pouch you can definitely use to heal BBW. We can, yeah, save basically
I have
flavorly.
2 of those, so I was gonna give 1 to Cookie and 1 to BBW, and that's 7 hit points each.
Ooh.
So that should be a pretty decent bump.
Hot damn. Yeah, those herbs, it's like the first bit is like smelling salts, and you're like rested from blackness, the both of you. Like things went black for a brief moment, maybe for us, maybe a little bit longer for the two of you, but before you even saw anything, you are ripped from that blackness by a strong scent. And then you snarf down some of the healing poultice herbs. There's a mini wrench to fix some of BBW's bolts, and the two of you are healed for those 7 from Carl, and are awoke into the rubbled mess of this room. You can hear now, the 3 of you sitting up can hear several sets of like metallic clanking coming from the hall outside in the door. Slippy, you are laying in the crowd. What's up?
So while we're sort of crowd surfing along, Slippy is going to sort of bring his legs up, make sort of a chair for Mr. Blood to sit on while he's watching the race. So Mr. Blood is sort of sitting on Slippy's folded legs. He's got his feet on Slippy's chest, and Slippy's gonna go ahead and get out his walkie-talkie, and he's gonna say, "Hey, and this is because I have the walkie-talkie to What was his name? Penguin, the guy who runs the guy whose voice is like
Yeah,
Slippy's,
Penguin.
the security guy."
Yeah, we'll call him Penguin.
So Slippy, and
You
he
guys just
says,
called him a penguin, but yeah.
Slippy calls him and says, "Hey, Penguin, it's Slippy. How's it
Oh,
going?"
it's going pretty good. The races are going well. There's only a little bit of
Wrong. It's going
damage to the
bad.
stadium. Oh, that damage to the stadium is you guys. Would you like us to send in some backup?
We need help. Mr. Blood is in the crowd right
Oh,
now
that's no good.
underneath
We
the
gotta get him out of the crowd. Why is he out of the crowd, Slippy?
because there was an explosion and I had to save his life. Thank you very
Oh,
much.
yeah, I heard that. Boo. We're
But
sending people to check it out right now.
yes, send somebody down to the crowd to retrieve myself and Mr. Blood.
Okay.
To the brown reverse carp
Everyone
section.
in the crowd goes dead. No, I'm just kidding.
Ooh.
Okay.
Thanks, Sweetums.
Yeah. You have made yourself into this chair. You're sitting on laying down bodies, because you've crumpled the people beneath you.
Oh, I thought we were crowd surfing.
No, you took out the people beneath
That's
you.
okay, as long as he can
his
see.
thing.
As
He
long as he
stands
can
up
see.
off of you. He's not trying to sit atop you. He's like, that's okay. I have a better view from down there than I had from up there. That's not his name. I had a
Do you
better.
want
I had a better
to
view.
get on my shoulders,
Huh?
my lord? Do you want to get on my shoulders,
No,
my
I'm
lord?
good. I'm good down here watching. Just want to.
Okay. Then I'm gonna set up a defend action while we're waiting for the help. I'm gonna take an experience.
Yikes.
Hopes that doesn't come
The
back to
3
bite
of
me.
you hear that metallic clanking, and then you hear some shouting and sounds of gunfire, and then you see plasma bolts streaking back and forth across the doorframe.
Time to go.
Out the window?
I kind of think so. It does seem safer out there than in here.
Yeah, I mean, do you guys jump out the window, or do you want to do something else? I agree it may seem safer. I just want a definitive we do this before I do this.
I'm jumping.
Cookie has a soft
Yeah, I
moment
guess-
of contemplation and then jumps.
Carl's in.
Let's do it.
As the three of you are looking around the room back and forth between the door and the window, you see the chrome bots, several chrome bots start to appear in the doorway and turn their attention towards you while still firing down the hallway. The three of you spin around and jump out the window. It's a pretty far drop. Give me a defy danger constitution because you're just brunting the fall here.
Eight.
That's a 6.
12.
Carl bounces. You see.
12, 8, 6. Good, a range.
Early, I'm in BBWs and acrobatic.
BBW, you hit a chunk of concrete and are planted into the concrete. You don't take any damage. You just like plant yourself into the concrete, and your legs are able to just like push yourself up out of the concrete sort of seating around you. Carl, I like that you bounce. Carl, you are falling, and you can either land on someone random who's watching the game, or land on the concrete. You don't. I mean, falling from this height, being any amount of weight, is not going to be good for any person in general.
Do I know the person?
No.
Who? Person anywhere in the world?
What does the nearest person below me look like? Do they look like a douchebag from this angle?
What does the top of their head look
they're
like?
just cheering. They're cheering on the races. They're
Fuck that guy. Get him.
Okay, then Carl, you'll land on a person, taking them out, taking a reduced amount of damage, being 3. Cookie, you slam jam right into the concrete, taking, well, I said reduce, but it's also 3 damage.
Aim for one of these things. They step off the corpse and walk into the
Oof.
crowd.
Yeah, next time.
As you folks are standing there in the crowd, you see coming from the doors, the sort of audience gates above you, there are several security guards looking down, and they spot you and they're pointing, and they're all running down the crowds, waving to you like, "Hey, come to us. We're gonna get you out of here." And Mr. Blood's like, this race is almost over. We can almost get out. But he is like hard pressed to the side of this as the horses come around their last leg of the track and into the final stretch.
Who's in the lead?
Slippy just shrugs and says, "What baby wants, baby
In
gets."
the lead currently is Carla Dean's racing team horse, who is just ahead of Blood's Dream, and Blood is like gripping the edge of this thing, watching the edge of the like railing, just like watching so intently. And
I want to lean in next to him with my gun and say, "With no offense intended and no pressure, sir. If you'd like me to shoot the other horse, I can."
I can shoot it a bunch
you
of
really
times.
couldn't. You
horse and
really
the
couldn't,
jockey.
he says, without taking his eyes off the track, giving no more information than just that. You
Take your word
folks are
for it.
peeking around in the crowd, just like last second trying to get a glance on things as this race is drawing to a close, and you see several folks on the edge of this ring and deeper into the crowd begin ripping their skin off in like patches, and beneath is the robotic
Cracks.
chrome structure, and they begin charging from the crowd at you guys.
Arl starts screaming, "Blue upside down horse! Blue upside down horse! Blue
There is
upside
no
down!"
reaction. They are streaming out of the crowd at you. There are too many to count. and they're coming.
I'm gonna shoot 12 of them.
Give me that volley roll for just firing into the crowd. Hell yeah. There's 12 audience members for if you miss, so it's not a big deal. Either way, someone gets hit.
That is a 12.
Either way, 12 people are dying right now.
And then roll damage.
Damage is only 3. Because it's +1.
As the
so
first
3 damage, but I
As the
nailed
first
them.
wave breaks through the crowd and is rushing forward, Carl peppers the front, but it doesn't seem to do much to deter them as they're like washing in, beginning to wash in over you. Cookie, BBW, Slippy.
How far is the next layer down?
That's a good question. Another 20 feet down. Slightly further
does the
fall
crowd
than your
down there look
first fall.
softer?
No, a slightly further fall than your first one.
I guess what Slippy is going to do, because I am the furthest away from the wave of robots currently, I assume.
I'm first. I'm gonna ask Mr. Blood. Are you ready to go yet, Mr. Blood? The crowd is taking their skin off. Mr. Blood.
I'm ready for you guys to protect me. We're in the final leg here. The races are just like the horses are just sprinting down towards the finish line.
Slippy is going to pick Mr. Blood up and put him on his shoulders and then do a defend roll.
Okay.
Which is a 10. So I think that's hold 3.
Cookie's also rolling to defend. Cookie rolled a 12. Cookie's got her walk out.
It's also hold 3.
BBW.
Also roll a defense. Do I add anything to it?
Constitution.
Anya.
Okay. This is a 7 for me.
7. So you get
Hold 1.
Hold 1. And I would like to ask how the three of you spend your first hold as this wave is like smashing into you. Or your one hold if you're BBW. We'll say that to give you options, there are 4 from the first one that open up hands and fire off shots towards the group of you, but at Blood, and the rest are just like rushing forward. They're about to hit Carl, basically.
I would like to provide Carl an opening. So Carl gets +1 to their next action.
How do you?
So I'm gonna spend one of my holds. I'm going to. I guess I don't actually, because I've got Mr. Blood, so I don't. I mean, I think what I maybe makes sense is that I can draw their attention a little bit by sort of running down the path away from the general crowd, and just sort of Mr. Blood can keep watching, and I can get him slightly further away from the wave of enemies.
Okay, draw their attention and
then
open
maybe
them up.
that'll draw their attention
Okay,
that
okay.
way. Yeah.
Opening them up, Carl Cookie, or sorry, BBW Cookie.
I think I'm also going to. Can I give an additional +1 or a +1 to a different enemy? Since
It's to the
Carl can-
ally rather than the enemy.
well, and an ally, like +1 to an ally on a different enemy. I mean,
Gotcha.
I would imagine doing it by like maybe blocking one of their laser shots with my walk and like shooting it back into him and making him stumble a little bit.
Like the knee trick that you just learned from the previous guy.
Okay. I like the flavor of that and what that provides. That feels a little heavier than maybe one of these options. Because there are bullets coming in. So in order maybe to make that happen, maybe you'll take half damage from the bullet that you are touching to make this happen. I'm maybe adding a little bit more onto it because I'm I'm allowing Slippy's thing to sort of draw all their attention, giving Carl the opening since he is carrying blood. So if you want to give Carl an extra opening, or maybe on this particular enemy, to do this.
If Slippy has gotten all of their attention, then I think I'm gonna try and deal. I'll try and deal damage instead to the attacker.
Okay.
I'd like to do that
Just
as
deal
well.
3
Yeah,
damage.
no, I like that. I like the flavor of that. Like as one has broken through the line by Carl, you're spinning around and smashing it with the walk. And with the damage that Carl has done, you hit that one and it kind of goes into pieces. BBW, what about yours?
I'm gonna deal the 2 damage to the one trying to attack.
Okay,
as
yeah,
well.
yeah. I mean, I think that like story-wise, that's very solid. Slippy just sort of starts picking up blood and like high stepping down the little path, and the ones that have broken by Carl immediately, Slippy and Cookie and BBW are atop of, smashing into pieces. There are still a large amount coming out of the crowd, and sort of swirling past you. Slippy, even as you're running, you can see some beginning to form up in front of you. Up near the doors leading down into this area, from the top sort of arena doors leading to the seating, you can see bodyguards there, and they have guns, but they're not trying to like fire loosely into the crowd, which has begun panicking at the nearby crowd. The closest crowd has begun sort of panicking at the action going on up here.
Yeah, I think I would just like to maybe just do my best to make it past the ones that are appearing in front of me to get to the bodyguards, maybe.
Yeah, do you have a use of defend on that? Because you have 2 more defend
Yeah,
holds.
I can just I don't I think Mr. Blood's gonna have to get Mr. Blood has to be punished for his hubris. I'm just gonna have the damage to the next attack that hits Mr. Blood.
Okay, yeah, the first group that makes contact with you, there's a swipe down, and you're able to deflect most of it, but the end of the blade nicks blood, and some blood is drawn across his white suit, and he doesn't seem to love that. Cookie, BBW, Carl, you see there's a decent sized group of robots right in front of Slippy. He's trying to like shimmy his way past them, but they're like closing in around him. What do the 3 of you do? There's robots all around. There could be attacks coming in at you, you could imagine. There are attacks like there's just robots sprinting past you to try to get to Slippy and Mr. Blood. There's like chaos going on.
Trying to think of a way to help Slippy, but I'm not sure that any of the defend options are really going to do that.
Your initial
Your
defend
initial
roll
defend roll.
was on Blood. If you made a new defend roll on Slippy, you could defend Slippy.
I'll do that then. Let's see. It's gonna be 8 to defend him.
Okay, what's your
I'm gonna
hold?
do. I'm gonna redirect the attack to myself.
Okay, there
And-
is, like I said, there's some that have broken by and are beginning to like sprint by you with arm blades like extended, trying to get to Slippy. And BBW, you dive in front of one as it begins to close in on Slippy. It like breaks down and goes into like a spear jump towards Slippy, and you jump in front of the way of that, deflecting it away from Slippy, but taking 2 points of damage in the meantime, so maybe none.
Thank you, sweet prince.
And that one's deflected off into the crowd. It's trying to get up.
I'll protect you, Slippy. Keep him safe.
Please do, God. Oh, God.
I'm going to use my remaining 2 holds just to deal more damage, just sort of flail about with the walk in the robots everywhere, and move to follow Slippy and Blood, and follow the
Yeah,
action.
yeah. Carl?
I guess I'm gonna. Are there any close enough to slash at before I move on towards Slippy and Blood?
100%. They're all over the place.
You said they were almost toward. Yeah. So I'm gonna take a swipe at one of them before booking it towards
Mhm.
them. So that is a 6 marking experience.
You,
One away from level
Carl,
5.
you go to swipe at one running by you, and it stops on a dime, and you swipe at the air just right in front of it, and it turns and tackles you to the ground, and two more pile atop of Carl, and Carl is just sort of pinned underneath the three of these, and their arms are coming up. I think at first you take 2 points of damage, whatever that is for you, as their blades are coming in and probably bouncing off of your armor, I imagine. But they're like punching in. Excuse me, the three of these. Cookie, you're flailing about wildly, taking out robot after robot. It's more than just the two of these holds. You're swinging and just like keeping them down, and eventually they're starting to overtake you. BBW, you are on the ground. This robot is getting up, and you're trying to like get up to push it back off of Slippy, and Slippy in front of you. 5 of these robots are beginning to pile up atop of you. They're beginning to close out the path in front of you. And as you feel their cold metal approaching, like they're like pressing in upon you, all of a sudden there is a roar from the audience. It erupts into an uproarious cheer and applause, and you hear Mr. Blood go, "Oh, yes! Oh, yes!" And he crouches down, he's like punching, he's like, "Yes!" Immediately, the robots stop and begin one by one falling into heaps on the ground around in the audience, and you can see it like them falling all over on the level that you're in.
Flippy does the same.
And you, Carl, pull yourself out from the pile of loose machinery atop you. The security guards are starting to get near you, pulling you out. What are your initial responses to what is going on?
Slippy stands up and says, "Hey, does anybody know what the Pharaoh's eye is?"
BBW's going to go one of like noisemakers and be like, "Woo, we won."
Cookie's gonna come to Mr. Blood and be like, "What in the hell was
I
that?"
won! I won! Blood's Dream won! That's the whole point we came here for. That's why the crowd's going so wild, because my horse won the race. He's just so cheerful right now. He's not even worried about the gash on his arm.
I want to give him my party
He puts
hat.
it on right away. It's like, this is the best. This is one of the best wins that Blood's Dream has ever had.
I'm very happy for you, Mr. Blood.
You folks
That's so
are
exciting.
doing a
Really glad
loose
you could-
scan,
we
of
could share
course,
this
about the
day.
crowd. You look up, you see Carla Dean standing at her window, shaking her head in disappointment. You peek back up
I flip her off with two
to the Blood's
fingers.
box. You see pushed up against a wall, supporting herself, is Carissa. She's looking down at the 4 of you. Slippy, you make eye contact with Carissa for a brief moment, and she she smiles and puts one of her arms to her head and puts it out like a salute, and turns around and
Slippy shouts, "What does that mean? Are we on or off
disappears into
again?"
the smoke coming out of Blood's box. And
We're off again, but not for long.
off again, but not for long.
We always get back together.
And Blood is ecstatic. The security guards help you up and into a safe area of the arena. But Blood says the whole time that you folks are being led to this secure area, he's like, "There's no need for that. The race is over. The race is over. My life's not in any danger anymore.
Why?
More.
What's the purpose? What's the purpose of taking me out after I've won all that money? They still got to pay the money."
Oh, they wouldn't have to pay the money if you were dead before the race was over?
No.
It's a flawed
It's,
system.
I don't know. That's the system that was set in place for me to bet upon.
Well, you know what? I'm glad you won.
Yeah, this is a pretty cut. I
Glad
mean,
you won,
you
Mr.
think
Blood.
this is a pretty cutthroat system. Explosions.
Oh,
I mean,
really?
explosions going off up here, and the crowd is still just watching a horse race that is still continuing.
Yeah, the lack of reaction was harrowing.
Well, people here like their races, and they seem to be important to the money flow of this city. The penguin checks over the security. It's a few, yep. It's a few hours, and you folks are released from the secure area of the racetrack and find yourselves out in front with Mr. Blood. And he says, "That was a mighty fine mission. I gotta say, the race, we absolutely crushed it. And I think that I'm gonna give each of you a little off the top on that one because you guys did a extra special job." And he
Great, I really need a
hands
haircut.
you
Thank
each
you, Mr. Blood.
150 credits and
Holy shit.
says,
Is that a lot? I feel like
"I
that's a lot.
trust."
That's more than I've ever had in this game.
Yeah, for the extra special hard mission last time, you were offered 100 credits anyway in the end. This one was 60 plus whatever tip.
Yeah, I had 6 before this, so this
Yeah,
is great.
Yeah,
it's a
it's
bit.
15.
And he says, "I do hope that if I ever need some bodyguards again for another mission, that I could maybe reach out to you folks personally. We can avoid the whole rigmarole of the military system."
Of course, Mr. Blood.
It will
And
pay and all the information beforehand.
and don't it's
I gave
and just don't invite anybody like Carissa. She's always trying to do this sort of like money from the rich old guy thing. Not that you're that old, but you know, you just gotta watch
how am
out
I
for it.
supposed to
It's
know
so
that? She's
dangerous.
been a companion of mine for quite some time.
That's the way that she does it. She just you know, and then you let your guard down. She does it all the time.
What? Okay. Okay. And you
Just
you
watch
hear
out for that
you hear a beep
character,
on
that type of person.
his communicator, and it says, "Mr. Blood, Mr. Blood, it's Carissa. If you're with Carissa, you gotta be careful. We checked her room. It's filled with robots, Mr. Blood." And he goes, "You can calm down. You can calm down. We already took care of the situation. Just make sure you lock her room down pretty tight, and we'll take care of it when I get up there." And an Uber Black pulls up, and he says, "You folks heading back to the hotel?"
Yeah, I guess.
And you're
Can you buy us another room, Mr. Blood, so we can have a little vacation, maybe? Since we did such a good special job for your special little boys.
I'm sure I can extend the reservation on the rooms for another night or two.
Thank you.
You folks pull up to the Peacock.
Well, I guess if we have a couple of days, I just wanted to go back to. I feel like I had some sort of standing something with someone in the market. I was going to go pick up
Rare tech.
rare tech. But if I don't have to do it right now, then I don't need to do it right now. If we've got a couple more days.
Your guys' departure from this planet is entirely up to you. The mission is technically over once he leaves. He's paid you, but technically the mission isn't over until he leaves planet. So you folks go back to the hotel. He gets onto his elevator and says, "I got a mighty fine feast awaiting for my victory at the races. If you four would enjoy a fine meal tonight."
A
Yes,
party,
What are the
you
odds of
said?
us getting attacked during the meal?
Well, I would have said 0 to all of our meals this time, but you can see how well my powers of deduction have worked for this one, so 0. And he kind of winks at you.
Yeah, I'm
Okay.
hungry.
Let's
Can
get
I
some
sit?
food.
Can I sit next to you, Mr. Blood? Can I be your companion for at
Ah,
least
of
tonight?
course, of course. And you, well, hold on. Well, hold on.
Awesome.
Of course you can. I need a replacement for that that Carissa woman. You'll do
Yes,
mighty
I'll be
fine
your arm
tonight, Slippy.
candy.
What'd she call you, Tombleson?
Yeah, that's my name.
All right then, Tombleson. And you four go up and you share a feast.
But you can call me Mr. President.
All right, Thompson. And you folks share a feast of a meal. Full rests. You enjoy the festivities. There is offers of alcohol and mixed drinks. Do you folks partake in the business? I think Slippy only drinks during candle
No,
nights.
Slippy only drinks during their candle nights. Yep, that's canonical in the Winterverse.
BBW will only eat food but won't drink anything.
It's a hard line I didn't know was set already. The more you know.
I gotta use the bathroom. If we can take a.
Yeah, I was
Was that
gonna request
BBW
a
or
bio sometime soon. So
The answer is yes. It was both. BBW is just gonna take a massive shit on table.
BBW shits on the floor? It's a scientific
The four of you
miracle.
enjoy a lovely feast for the evening. You rest up. At some point in the evening, Mr. Blood heads up to the roof with you and gets onto a pod with several of his staff and heads back up into the atmosphere, officially ending the mission. He says, I'm certain that we will speak in the future if I ever need some bodyguards. And the door closes.
Or if you ever want a companion, Mr. Blood, I'm currently off again.
Or if you ever need
Slippy's,
any sort of party,
I got.
birthday,
or if you need
Any sort of
many
birthday
people shot at the same time.
Is there anything you can? What if I need them drinks that you made, Cookie? I only said because all of your party offered me things, and
I still
I
feel
don't like you, Mr. Blood.
I still feel like we weren't given all of the requisite information we needed for this mission. So, like I said, double pay or don't call me.
you're a
Amen.
hard nut to crack, Cookie. But I'm sure that we'll get along in the future. I've got plenty more jobs that might benefit workers of your caliber. And he gets onto a ship, and like I said, it disappears into the atmosphere. You folks return down to your rooms, finishing up what is maybe left of the feast and sharing some different takes on the evening in general. And when you wake up yeah, let's hear some of these takes. How do your characters feel coming back down into the room? Mr. Blood finally gone.
Slippy, I think, is gonna go and tell Lucy about the adventure and about why she needs to watch out for devious, mischievous, conniving, superlative, etc. people.
BBW
Because-
is gonna
You gonna include the part about Carissa's arms being chopped off?
Well, that's at the end, and Slippy ends it with, and anyway, that is how I learned that much like Carissa's hands, we are currently off again. And then the camera fades on Slippy and Lucy for this episode.
BBW is gonna tinker with his tools and to spend time repairing everything and talk to his little special energy shield he promised to use properly.
It
You
shows
would
appreciation
not
for the use that it has
believe.
received so far. It mostly is just showing
Good.
appreciation for the connection that you've made with it. It's less that it's being used and getting hit, but more that you're like connecting with it as a personality, and it is appreciating that. So it's still, it's still on board. You're the only one with a temperamental energy shield, so I like that. Cookie Carl, any approaches to the end of this evening?
I'm gonna check in with the bellhops now that we're back at the Peacock. Make sure that everything is set for transporting the mother cradle aboard the ship. Yeah.
Have you told us about that?
No.
I didn't think so.
There's not been a good moment to.
I was just curious. I was trying to remember where we were at with that.
It's not like I'm trying to hide it, but also I haven't mentioned it.
Oh yeah, I'm not fussed.
The bellhops. The moment you speak to them, that level of honorific has returned. I think with your interactions now, you're able to put at least those two and two together, that was yet another set of this. Like, they're all different, so those set have no connection to you as this set does. But they tell you that the plan is on when you are ready to take off. Let them know. And by the time that you get down there, the mother cradle should be in final preparations for going dormant for a transplant.
How much room is needed to transport the mother cradle? Like, will it fit in a barrel, or a suitcase,
Is it
or
bigger than a
what?
bread box?
Is it
in a
just is
real-
it are is there just a huge galactic formation sitting in
Is it gonna
our
be
cargo
offended?
hold?
Is it gonna be offended if we take it in a bread box? Is that gonna be
It
rude?
told you initially that when it goes dormant, it's going to go pretty small and be very light. You're going to be able to carry it totally fine. During the process, it will be a pretty lengthy process of it waking back up in its new sort of shell. Imagine like shedding, right? And during that process, it will be expanding and contracting pretty greatly. I think you've had a lot of this conversation with it already. I think that it had alluded to a size nearly of your like the cargo bay of your ship, just to be safe. But it will be expanding and contracting after a small amount of time, so you'll need to get out of there. Like, this is last step before you're basically leaving planet, it has suggested.
All right. Well, then we'll go with that, and I'll solve whatever problems I can when they crop up.
As always.
Guess I'll have a lot of explaining to do when we get to the ship.
We'll cross that bridge when I come on it.
Hey, Cookie! Why is there a galaxy in our
What's
cargo
that?
hold?
What's all these black bug creatures coming out of it? Carl?
Oh, Aurora Borealis.
Why is it calling you Bay?
Carl would like to take a moment to relax his brain and slowly reload his ammo canisters and tinker with his zap and slice since it's a little busted, and just kind of it's been a while since he's been able to tender his arsenal, because like we've had a lot of battles, and so especially because one of the things about the signature weapon is he keeps it like meticulously clean, so like it's very kind of ritualistic cleaning thing going on.
Yeah. Cleaning and maintenance for the evening. You folks die down in your separate manners, just sort of intaking the evening, and the evening draws to a close. All of you in your separate rooms for the night. You wake up. There is a platter sitting on each of your dining room tables. And as you approach and pull the lid off of the platter, there's a folded up sheet of paper with some documents in it, and each of them say the same thing. They are tickets paid in full for the heist tower. They are scheduled for this afternoon for your slot in the heist tower. And there's a little note from Mr. Blood that says, there's a little note. It says, now I've been all over this city. The only place that I'd think that you might be able to find anything similar to whatever you had said, the Pharaoh's Eye, I think it was. This would be the place. Mr. B.
Guys, we got an escape room. Mr. Blood sent us an escape room.
Didn't
How
we
much do you
just
think we
escape?
could get for this ticket?
I'm gonna
Do you think we could break the record?
sell the ticket. I think that's where we're gonna cut it for today. We will come back next time for planetary close up. I think we'll do planetary close up and ship time.
Sounds good.
Because
A
the mission
little-
is over. And so I feel like mostly, right,
Yeah.
what we have to do is Cookie has two conversations to have. One where you pick up the rare tech, and one where you pick up the nebula.
I would say 3 conversations to have,
Ooh.
and then one
And
with
then
the
Heist
party.
Tower. So I guess next time will probably be close up in Heist Tower. Yes. I think with the addition of Heist Tower, we'll probably not do station time next time.
Makes
Yeah, that
sense.
feels like enough. So if you folks want to do Heist Tower, that is just there. If you don't actually want to do it, we'll probably just head back to the station and do station time. Yeah, sweet. All right.
It sure sounds fun to me.
Awesome.
Awesome.
Yeah, we gotta try and take a run at the Pharaoh's Eye. Gotta find out what all that's about.
100%. One opportunity to get the thing could be radical. Sweet. Awesome.
Oh, yeah.
You protected Mr. Blood long enough for the race to end. So congrats.
Thank God.
Congrats. They were overwhelming you. GG's.
I was about to jump off of another layer.
Yeah, the second drop would have been much worse. But maybe you
Fair.
could have used your body as cushioning for Mr. Blood to not die.
That's the only goal.
Here's to the
Sweet. And you all have a chunk of money too. So if you want, this is also a great time for if there's anything we've seen on the planet that we want to explore and purchase, right there for you. Or we
I
can
have
save
money
it
now.
till we get back because you also have access to the shop that will be updated for success in the mission. I've already begun updating it for you guys having succeeded, but then the way the last couple missions were going, I was like, I'm gonna stop because I don't want to get through a full update of this list in case they kill Mr. Blood thinking he's the bad guy. That's about the time I stopped
Yeah,
updating
fair.
it, when someone was like, it could be Blood, and now I don't trust him. I think Gabe was that, and I was like, I'm gonna stop updating the shop just in case. I mean, you know, if we kill Mr. Blood, great. We might have figured out a way to end that mission possibly successfully. I might have widgeted some sword stuff in there, but either way.
Yeah, I go back up to his ship and pretend to be him.
Mr. Slippy. All right, cool, guys. Good games. Good seeing you folks. We'll aim again for next week.
Sounds good. See you then.
Bye, you guys.
Bye.
Bye.
And as for everyone else, I want to appreciate all of you. Oh, come on. Boop, 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 boop. Where's that face cam? Thanks, everyone, for coming on out and joining us on another recording for Dungeons, Driveinns, and Dice. This was the closure to an episode that will probably be titled Blood and Chrome. I hope that you folks enjoyed the closure of our Opulence arc. We have, you know, some fun in the sun close up bits of the mission where we're not really focused on there being an intense like story portion because we've gone through all that, right? We're just doing like obstacle courses and closures. So come on out and join us for the fun next time. We're also going to be doing a ship event after that. Things are really kicking off in the story. We're really going to be nearing what I feel like is a good moment for a closure, a wrap up to our story. Maybe in some stories there would be a time jump or something like that. And that's, I think, about the time that we're going to fall out. We have a few more things to take care of, some big story arc things. But if you folks have enjoyed up until this point, you're still enjoying yourselves, make sure you subscribe to the channel. I would appreciate it very much. We're pushing for just some greater viewership here on YouTube this year. You'll be able to see when these posts, these edits go live. We still have a few more episodes before these edits come out, so keep an eye out for that. Down below in the description, you can find a link to the actual podcast itself where all of the audio edits are. You can go out there, you can check them out. All the episodes, all the content up until now. It just has gotten better and better in terms of our quality and our recording, so definitely peep that out and let us know what you think. We appreciate you folks coming out and joining, and we'll see you next week.